Hi guys, welcome back to my channel, and today I'm going to be doing this full coverage makeup look right here. This makeup look is totally inspired by all of the fashion bloggers that I follow on Instagram. And I'm not talking about like the super trendy, like, you know, magazine editor type fashion bloggers. I'm talking about like the kind of everyday girl, like fashion bloggers that just work totally on their Instagram. They take a lot of like selfies in the car and like just everyday outfit photos that are like more realistic, and I just love these kind of girls. I follow a lot of them. I think a lot of them are super gorgeous. I'm just super inspired by that like kind of style of like blogger at the moment. So I've been like stalking a bunch of them and like watching all their story highlights on Instagram, and a lot of them have everyday makeup that just looks like amazing in all their photos, and I'm always curious what kinds of products they're wearing. And it seems to me, I don't know if I'm the only one that notices this, but all of these types of like Instagrammers use the same kinds of products. So they all are using the same type of foundation and concealer, and it's all a lot of products that were famous or kind of really on trend and like popular a few years ago. I feel like the beauty community moves so quickly and there's so many new products that a lot of these products get forgotten, but some of the people that aren't necessarily like specifically beauty influencers, they're more fashion influencers or something else, are still using some of these products that are super amazing and that we just kind of tend to forget about. So I was super inspired by that because I had forgotten about a lot of these products myself and wanted to put them all to use and create this full coverage makeup look. So I hope you guys enjoy this tutorial. It's just like a great, I would say kind of everyday but slightly heavier makeup look for if you're taking photos or something like that. So I created this makeup look, and if you want to see how I got it, then please keep watching. I'm going to start off by priming my face, and today I'm using my Touch in Sol No Pore Blem primer. And this is just a nice like smoothing primer. I don't really know about primers lately. A lot of times I've been having this issue where once I apply foundation on top of my nose, it really separates around my pores when I use a primer. So I'm hoping that doesn't happen today. But we're just going to smooth that on for good measure. I feel like every single fashion blogger that I follow is still using a Smashbox primer, like a thick, like pore filling one, kind of like a Benefit Porefessional vibe, but I just don't have one of those in my collection, so I'm using that one today. And then for foundation, I'm going to go in with my Estee Lauder Double Wear, and this is in the shade 1N1. Ivory Nude, and this is just the cult classic. Like every single person that I follow is using this foundation, every single fashion vlogger. Like you always see them in their pictures and their skin looks super flawless, and you can tell they're wearing something full coverage. And I feel like you can't really tell through pictures how matte it really is, but this Double Wear is just the go-to with the fashion Instagrammers. So I've been pulling mine out lately, and I actually really like it because personally I have really oily skin, and as you can tell, I have really acne prone skin, so something full coverage like this is really nice for me because it gives me a totally blurred out effect. So I'm just going to apply a layer of that and then we'll move on. I finished blending in my foundation with my damp beauty blender, and now I'm going to move on to concealer, which is of course Tarte Shape Tape. And I use the shade Fair Light Neutral, which is 16N. And for a long time I had a Shape Tape before this, which was in the shade Fair, which I thought was the right color for me because I'm super fair and it's the light color, but it was way too light for me and it just did not work. So I just recently repurchased it in this color and I've really been liking it. So I think the reason why I didn't like it before was just because I had a bad color match for me. So that was really contributing, but this is a really nice thick full coverage formula, which is of course the vibe you're going for if you're constantly like doing outfit photo shoots and like, you know, taking photos. So I've actually really been liking this. It is pretty drying and like thick in texture. Like this I can really feel kind of sitting on top of my skin, which is one thing that I don't particularly like about it. And some fashion Instagrammers that I follow have upgraded to the Laura Mercier concealer, which I really like. But I've actually been in the mood for this type of formula a little bit more lately. I think the Laura Mercier is a lot nicer for like an everyday look. It is super full coverage and it does cancel my dark circles really well, but this Shape Tape is just much more of like a contouring and highlighting concealer. Like I'm going to bring this all the way down underneath my eye, and I'm also using it to prime my eyelids, and it's just really like thick and full coverage and really gonna like highlight the face in a way that I think the Laura Mercier just doesn't, just because the formula isn't as thick. Okay, now to set the under eye concealer, I'm going to use my Laura Mercier translucent powder, which is of course the OG powder that just, I feel like everyone sets their under eyes with. So I'm just picking that up on my damp beauty blender, and I'm gonna set under my eyes and then also on my eyelids with this. And then to set the rest of the face, I'm going to use my MAC Mineralize Skinfinish in the shade Light Plus, which is just my favorite all-time powder, and I feel like all fashion Instagrammers set their face with the MAC powder. I don't know, is this just me that like notices all these patterns? Because sometimes I like follow people and I'm like, wow, everyone is using the exact same products. Like all the fashion bloggers are using these products. All of those like Instagram, like beauty Instagrammers that are getting like reposted on Huda Beauty are using, you know, Farsali face drops and a Huda Beauty eyeshadow palette, like all the exact same products. So I just think it's like super interesting that these different like niche like types of Instagram accounts are all using like the same types of products. So I was just really inspired to kind of recreate this look by that. I hope like no one thinks that I'm like talking bad about them. Like I really like all these products and I wouldn't be doing this makeup look if it wasn't something that I would be like wearing out. Like I've been wearing this look all week just because I've been really inspired by this kind of like full coverage type of look, but it's just so interesting to me that they all kind of group and use the same products. Anyway, my face is set, so I'm gonna go ahead and use bronzer, and of course we're gonna use Hoola, which is just the cult classic. I just have this little itty bitty like sample size one I've been working with lately. I'm taking this on my NARS Ita brush just so that I can kind of like contour with it. I have been super into a really warm, more of like a bronzy look and not a contoured, cool toned bronzer look for a very long time. I've been in kind of like that warm bronzer mode. So it was like really weird for me at first to kind of go back to this cool toned bronzer, but because I'm so fair, I think cool toned bronzer will always kind of be really, really flattering. That's not to say that you can't pull off warm tone bronzer. I rock it all the time if you're fair. But I think this cool tone kind of contouring look is just also really, really flattering, and it's just a totally different vibe. It depends what you're going for. But for, you know, taking outfit photos and taking all these selfies on Instagram, it's just really flattering to have a nice like cool toned contour. So I contoured my face, and then I just almost forgot I need to contour my nose. I'm going to take my NARS Ita brush and that same Hoola bronzer. And I used to do this like every single day with this Ita brush, but I just kind of fell out of the habit, and it's just super flattering. Like for me, my nose is so fair, especially in photos and flash photos. Like my nose can really just disappear because my whole face is pretty light, and like with flashback, it can just kind of get really washed out. So contouring the sides really just kind of brings some dimension back to the face, and I think is really flattering on fair skin. So I can go ahead and do that. And then for highlighter, I feel like all these fashion bloggers are using like OG MAC highlighters, and this is MAC Soft and Gentle, which is just probably my holy grail highlighter, and I forgot how much I loved it until I started like following all these cute little like fashion Instagrammers, and I was like, oh my gosh, they're all using like Soft and Gentle or something like this, and I just had totally not reached for mine in a while because I was kind of falling in love with a bunch of other highlighters, because in the beauty community, highlighter is one of those products that's like everyone's talking about the newest one all the time. There's a bunch of great ones from the drugstore that people are always trying, so I just kind of forget to go back to my favorites, and this is definitely like a favorite. Like it is so beautiful, it's so flattering. I think this is just the best highlighter of all time, and I have forgotten about it, so I'm really happy that I've rediscovered it. I'm putting it on the tip of my nose, Cupid's bow, and then on my cheeks there, and I love it, love it, love it. Then for blush, we're going back to definitely an OG product, and this is NARS Orgasm, which is just, could there be a more cult beauty product? I don't think so. So I'm taking this on my MAC 168 brush, which is a nice small brush to let me get into this small little pan here. And this is really also a super flattering shade. Like this didn't become a cult classic for no reason. I just tend to not reach for it. I don't know why. So the face is done, and now we're going to move on to eyeshadow. And I find that all of these fashion Instagrammers are all using an eyeshadow palette. Like they have a big everyday palette that they use all the time, and they always show it, and they've like hit pan on like 80 colors. And it's always like a Tarte eyeshadow palette, and I don't have one of those, but I do have this Persona Identity palette, which I actually really love. I haven't been reaching for it lately, but I super love this product. So I'm going to be taking my, whatever this is, Sigma, what is this called? E40 brush, and I'm just taking that light humble shade here and just going all over the lid to kind of prime the eye look. And then I'm going to take this warm medium brown shade in the named Charming. Excuse me, I'm stuttering, and use that same brush and just kind of warm up the crease. And then to kind of deepen everything up, I'm going to go in with this deeper shade, which is called Maverick, which is like a deeper, more cool toned brown. And I'm just going to keep this on the outer V of the eye here, just to kind of deepen it up. And I find that the other thing with these Instagram fashion accounts is they're all still rocking this like smoky eye, which is like gorgeous and it photographs well. But I find that like a lot of the beauty accounts I follow are like really not doing this just like easy, classic, everyday smoky eye anymore. They're really going for a much like lighter everyday makeup look, or else it's like a full-on, you know, Instagram beauty, like Huda Beauty routine, you know? There's kind of not this like in-between of like an everyday smoky eye that I see a whole lot anymore. Maybe that's just me and the accounts that I follow, but I have not really just done an everyday smoky eye, and I've been doing this all week, and it's just like totally out of my typical comfort zone, and it's like a lot more makeup than I would typically, you know, just like wear to work, but it's really pretty. So I'm going to take a flat shader brush now, and what color am I going to do? I'm going to go in with this purpley one, which is called Seductive, and just do that all over the lid in here to add a pop of shimmer. And then just taking that small brush, I'm just going to kind of go over the outer corner again, because some of it kind of got covered up by the shimmer. And if you need to go back in with your E40 brush and kind of blend everything out, I would do that as well. Just keep blending until everything looks good. And then to highlight, I'm going to go in with this like shimmery white shade called Sassy on this little shader brush and just get the inner corner. Of course, my favorite place to highlight, and then also go underneath the brow bone with this, which is, I really kind of stopped highlighting under the brow bone, but I've seen a lot of these girls doing this lately, and it's just inspired me to bring it back. So I'm highlighting that, and then once again, if you need to kind of like buff through with your E40 to make sure that's not too like harsh and intense, do it. Okay, it's raining and the sun just came out from behind a cloud, so the lighting's really changed, so hopefully you can like still see everything okay. I'm just going to quickly curl my lashes before I do liner and mascara. And for liner, I'm going to use my Kat Von D Tattoo liner in the shade Trooper, which is the black one, of course, and just do a light, small little wing. And now that we have some eyeliner on, I'm going to use my L'Oreal Voluminous Lash Paradise mascara. And most of these bloggers all have fake eyelash extensions. And I had those once, and I don't really have the desire to do them again. I see them on other people and I'm like, oh my gosh, it looks so good. But it just like, I don't know, I feel like it doesn't suit me. So I'm just going in with good old mascara. And I'm not going to do the whole fake lash thing, which if they don't have fake eyelashes, they usually got some falsies on. But that's just not my vibe, so we're just going for a lot of mascara instead. Liner and upper mascara is done, and usually this is where I leave it. I really like kind of a only upper lash and upper liner look and kind of a bare bottom lash. And like personally, I think this looks really pretty. But all of these fashion Instagrammers all have like a really like heavier eye look, I would say, on, and definitely have some bottom mascara and bottom liner or eyeshadow on. So I'm going to go for eyeshadow, and I'm just going to mix in these two shades, which is Charming and Maverick, which is the two that I used on the upper part of my eye. And I'm just taking it on this little angled brush, and I'm just going to line my bottom lashes with this. Bottom eyeshadow is on, and then I'm going to go in with bottom lash mascara, and this is my Clinique like Flutter to Full Lashes one. I just like this because it has a dense little brush and it reminds me of the Clinique bottom lash mascara. And I'm just going to quickly apply this to my bottom lashes. And final step on the face is going to be brows. So of course we have to use the Anastasia Brow Wiz. I have mine in the shade Taupe. And I forgot that I even still, oh, these stupid things are always broken. Mine was already broken. The stupid Anastasia spoolies that never stay working for longer than like a day. Anyway, this is a beautiful product though. I love this color. This is like the OG Great Brow Pencil. I have a lot of other favorites though that I've been using instead of this lately. But oh my gosh, now that I'm applying it, this is actually a really perfect color for my brows, and I forgot how much I liked this. This is why I was really inspired by these like Instagram fashion bloggers, because although like I said, they kind of were using products that were famous, I would say like a few years ago, or not famous, but like were really popular a few years ago, and I feel like a lot of the beauty industry has kind of moved on, and there's so many new products coming out all the time that they're like, we're constantly all trying new things and like checking out these new products. We kind of forget how good some of these like cult favorites are, and to me, like, I always like see that these are like still cult favorites that are like selling really well on like Sephora or Cult Beauty or wherever. But I kind of forget that people are still buying them. I'm kind of like, oh, we're all on to the like the newer, like next and newer thing. But a lot of these products are just like staples in people's routine. Like if you're not super into beauty and you're not like, you know, constantly like excited about the new launches like some crazy people like me are, then of course, like why would you like keep trying products when you found all these products that are already working super well? Like I could wear this foundation and I could wear all these products every day. Like this is a great makeup look. I think my skin looks really good. I really like how it came out. You know, if you're not super into beauty and trying new things, like why fix it if it ain't broke, you know? Okay, brows are filled in and I just spoolied them a little bit, and now I'm gonna set them with my Anastasia clear brow gel. Okay, so face is pretty much done. All we have left is lips, but I'm gonna quickly set also with my Urban Decay All Nighter setting spray. And I really went off setting sprays for a while because, again, I kind of just was like, are they working? I'm trying new things. I'm trying other foundations and primers constantly, and I just like wasn't convinced that this was a staple. But then when I see these other people using it and it's working so well for them, I'm like, oh yeah, that product does work really well. So I'm gonna go ahead and spray this, and I've really been enjoying using this lately. And I would not recommend actually using this after you've already applied your mascara and your bottom lash mascara. I probably should have done this before I did my eye makeup all together, but I tend to not have too bad of a problem with my stuff smudging from this, so it's okay. But just a word of warning. Okay, the lighting has really been extremely changing a lot throughout this video, so I'm sorry about that. That's been happening in the last few videos just because we have rainy weather here, so it's like super rainy and cloudy, and then the sun comes out, and then back and forth. Anyway, we're ready for lips, and I'm going to use my MAC Whirl Liner, which again is like a cult favorite that I feel like I forgot about, but a lot of people are still using. So I'm going to go ahead and line the lips with this first. So I've lined with Whirl, and this, if you're fair like me, is a really like deep, intense color. This is like the Kylie Jenner made this favorite for being like a 90s like lip look, but if you have fair skin, it can really look like super bold, so be careful. But a lot of these people are really tan because everyone on Instagram is self-tanned. In my opinion, that's like most people that I see, so this is like a lot, I think, more of a neutral on that kind of deeper skin tone, but on a fair skin, it's like really a deep shade. So what I see a lot of these people doing also is kind of applying a deeper lip liner and then a light nude lipstick. So I have 3 here. I'm not sure which one I'm going to use. This one is the L'Oreal in the shade Masterpiece, which I think is a little too dark. And then I actually wore this over Whirl the other day. This is the L'Oreal Color Re-Shine in the shade Shining Peach, which was a really nice combo because this is really kind of like more glossy and moisturizing. So it kind of created like a really like glossy lip look. But I think today I'm going to try it with my Essence Porcelain Doll lipstick, which is a really light, nudie, like pinky shade. And I like the idea of a super light nude with this because it's really kind of, I'm going to keep this concentrated in the middle and kind of create a little bit of an ombre lip look. So we'll try this one out. And there you have it. This is my finished Instagram fashion blogger makeup tutorial. I hope you guys enjoyed this and didn't think this was kind of like a weird topic or like way to like theme a makeup tutorial, but I was just been super inspired by these kind of girls lately. You always just see them and their outfits are so cute and their photos are so cute and then their makeup looks flawless. They just, you know, look like they're living their best life, and I have just been super inspired by them lately, and I'm always like clicking in their like story highlights, like what are their makeup products. I feel like all of them have a story highlight on their Instagram of like their everyday makeup tutorial, and these are all the types of products that they used. So I wanted to kind of create this kind of full coverage Instagram type makeup look. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Like I said, please let me know in the comments down below if you enjoyed this type of video. Hopefully you enjoyed seeing some of these products in action. I haven't had Tarte Shape Tape in a while, and using kind of good old Estee Lauder Double Wear is always super fun. So hopefully this was a cool video. As always, I'm uploading 2 days a week on Monday and Thursday, so please subscribe if you haven't already so that you don't miss my next video, and thank you so much for watching.